Okay, Pindar's World. What is Pindar's World? Well, Pindar is a character that I've done quite a number of times in the videos here on this channel. Pindar is a reptilian Draco. He is the prince of planet Draconis, and his father is the evil emperor from Star Wars. The real Pindar is kind of a conspiracy theory myth, and the Pindar is the official person who is the father of all of the British royal family, and probably another of other aristocratic bloodlines. Who is he in real life? I don't know. You could probably look to see who people are speculating. I don't know. But have you seen the new Jumanji movie? Yeah, spoiler alert. Okay, if you're still here, the Jumanji movie is about a bunch of humans that get uploaded into a old-fashioned, I don't know, might be in an old-fashioned Atari console of a video game, and they experience virtual reality inside the Jumanji game, where they play characters that don't look like what they look like on the outside of the game. Jumanji's World. Not too long ago, I was having a dream, and in the dream, I saw Pindar as a dragon-like reptile, and he said to me, "Don't come in here. This is my world." It was like the beginning of a video game. So, the video game that I'm playing today is I entered Pindar's video game, and this is my avatar character that you're looking at right now. Why is it? Well, that was the vision that I got. Vision or a dream? Is there a lot of difference? Well, I guess I was pretty awake. If it was a dream, I was awake in the dream. And if it was a vision, then, I was in planet Earth reality having a vision of Pindar's world. But, he said, "Don't come in." And, the energy just pushed me into that video game. It wasn't like I could stop. I just got in. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm still in Pindar's world. Why am I in Pindar's world? Well, mostly because Clancy, my ghost, says it's because of a couple of other things that I intended to do. A long time ago, my friend gave me a copy of a small book called The Prayer of Jabez. And you can look up The Prayer of Jabez. It's on Amazon. You could get the free sample off the Kindle if you want. But the Prayer of Jabez was a little tiny phrase from somewhere in the Old Testament of the Bible. And it was basically, well, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Okay, I found it. It's 1 Chronicles 4:10. And it goes like this. "And Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, Oh, that thou wouldst bless me indeed, and enlarge my coast, and that thine hand might be with me, and that thou wouldst keep me from evil, and that it may not grieve me." And God granted that which he requested. Well, in the book, the wording is a little bit different on some of these. Where it says "enlarge my coast," I think it's "enlarge my territory," and that's what I would go with. So, intending that I was going to go into territories that were not the God of Israel's, and that is definitely Pindar's world, because it's ruled by the evil emperor of Star Wars. So that was one intention. Pindar, hmm, I mean, I channel Pindar. I mean, when I'm playing Pindar, he comes through. It's a Pindar spirit. And the first time that Pindar came to me, it was an unbelievably long daymare. In other words, I was awake in our world, and Pindar was in my mind, and I was lying in bed, and I must have been up for 8 or 10 hours with Pindar. I had the most horrible, terrorizing energy. I think I thought it was going to go on forever. It was pure hell, and it went on for hour after hour after hour and after hour. And finally, what happened was I passed out. I passed out, and when I woke up, well, I was back in our reality, and the Pindar had was not in my mind anymore. But he came back, and I had another awaken this reality nightmare with Pindar. And at the same time, I have Rumpelstiltskin. That character was also in my mind, another one that was demonic. Both of these were demonic. I had quite a number of different demonics that came, and I still, even today, have demonics come to visit. So they always say it's because you intended the prayer of Jabez. In other words, you want to bring God's territory to our world where God's not welcome. That's why you're here, and that's why you're the enemy of Pindar. Clancy was also. Oh, there's two Clancys. We've come to the conclusion there's two Clancys. They sound exactly the same when I hear them, but there's a good Clancy and a bad Clancy. And usually what happens is bad Clancy is there first thing in the morning with Bear, who is another kind of demonic spirit. Bear sometimes changes his name and he calls himself Company's Coming or Christmas is Coming. And at the end of the night, usually what happens is that the bad versions of those characters go and the pleasant versions of those characters come. So are they really two, or are they just one character that has a good side and a bad side? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So, what else can I tell you? I had a few other things I want to talk about with. Oh, the good and bad versions of people really reminds me of Lama Govinda and Timothy Leary's version of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And in their version, um, they say if you go on a psychedelic journey, a number of different things will happen when you come down from your psychedelic trip. And one of the things that might happen to you is you might meet benevolent versions of the Tibetan, which is really the Bon, B-O-N, Bon deities. The benevolent versions you'll meet first, and depending on how you react to those ones, then you might meet the malevolent versions of those Bon deities. Why? Well, what Lama Govinda and Timothy Leary want you to do is to go on a psychedelic trip, and then when you come back, they want you to drop your ego games. And if you are very heavily attached to your ego games when you come back, you're more likely to meet the malevolent versions of the Bon deities. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that was basically the story of the their version of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. You can usually find a copy of that on the Lyceum website or the Arrowhead website, and probably other places as well. Usually that's like a PDF or something you can read there. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, well, what are these ego games that some humans are heavily attached to? For that, I always go back to the Robert DeRopp book, Beyond the Drug Experience, with the subtitle, um, hold on. Okay, I just found it on Amazon. It's called The Master Game Beyond the Drug Experience. Okay. I don't know if we can get this thing to come through or not. Arm is going the wrong direction. Oh, hell. Well, that's what happens when you're using a tablet and a phone to try and do everything for you. There it is. Robert DeRopp, The Master Game Beyond the Drug Experience. And then, rather than that book, I go to Google and I look this up, and there is somebody who has a great website with a summary of the master game and what the games are that people play. I found the site. It's called Live Real, livereal.com /spiritual/master game / so what does it say there? Well, that gives you a really good summary of the games that humans play. So let's see. The worst games to play are called Hog in a Trough, which has a trophy of money or wealth. The second low game is Cock on a Dunghill. So in this case, it's not a penis. The cock on a dunghill is a rooster on a big heap of shit. And the trophy is fame, my friends are saying. This is the Kardashians. And then the third low game is the Moloch game. Moloch was the Canaanite god that they sacrificed children to. And the trophy of that is glory or victory. Hog, yeah, I told you about these ones. I'm going to skip forward, okay? The neutral game is the householder game, and the trophy is to raise a family. And then there's the high games. The first one is the art game. The trophy is beauty. The second game is the science game. The trophy is knowledge. Next, we have the religion game. The trophy is salvation. And then finally, we have the master game. And the trophy is awakening. So awakening, according to DeRopp, is full consciousness. The basic idea is that man is asleep, that he lives amid dreams and delusions, that he cuts himself off from the universal consciousness, ... to crawl into the narrow shell of a personal ego, to emerge from this narrow shell, to regain union with the universal consciousness, to pass from the darkness of the ego-centered illusion into the light of the non-ego. This was the real aim of the religion game as defined by the great teachers Jesus, Gautama Buddha, Krishna, Mahavira, Lao Tzu, and the Platonic Socrates. So there you have it. Those are the games people play. And, if you're really attached to the low games, then then you tend to meet these malevolent versions of the Bon deities. The Bon were the shamanic Before Buddhism came to before Buddhism came to Tibet, they were a shamanic. Someone says cult. I don't know if they were a cult, but they were shamanic, and they were called Bon, B-O-N. So that's basically wrapping this whole thing up for you.